Hello everyone and welcome to the 2024 College Disc Golf National Championships. We are out here in Rock Hill, South Carolina for this PDGA major. Winthrop Meadows showing you a different side of the Winthrop University course. Ace Run Productions bringing you this coverage. I am Felix.
And I'm Dylan.
Dylan, the guys are in for a treat here. We're going to get to see a little bit of a different side of Winthrop.
Yeah, it's not what we get to see for the major. Going to the temporary setup course on the former ball golf course. Jumping into some highlights from our first round for these ladies before we get into our final nine.
Yeah, Kelly White here, 2 down so far through the round. This is her on hole 14, grabbing the par, maintaining the 2 down score. Hole 15, a unique hole that we're going to take a look at during this final nine. And here you can see her just scrambling, getting up and down, putting herself in a position not to lose any strokes here, closing out this initial 18 before we get to the final nine. I believe it's 16 players that are moving on to the final nine.
Yep, 16 plus ties.
And that a big putt for birdie on hole 18 to get her the hot round of 3 down for today.
And here's Taylor from Oregon. She was our only competitor from Oregon University, looking to make her name up this year.
Big putt there on hole 9. Putting her in position, she's definitely within striking range here.
And some of you may have heard of her beforehand. She's been a big name in the sport on social media, but this is one of her first major competitions.
Yeah, and a little bit of a hiccup there on hole 10, missing the island. Her on hole 18, needing to get up and down for par in order to be on the lead card. That upshot puts her in position and leaves her with a putt. This to be on lead card.
Unfortunately, just a bit low. She missed out by just 1 stroke on our lead card for the final nine.
Yes.
But still plenty of time to make up ground.
And everybody in the field, for the most part throughout the day, was chasing this young lady, Atlanta Krueger, Emporia State University. Here she is on 17, ripping this drive.
Yeah, as you can see, she bombs. Really solid all-around player. I definitely enjoyed getting to watch her play.
That would be for the bogey on 18, putting her at 3 down, tying her for the hot round for the day with Kelly White. So these two will be leading the way here for the final nine. But let's take a look with a word from our TD.
Welcome to the 2024 College Disc Golf National Championships in beautiful Rock Hill, South Carolina. This is a year of firsts. The first time that we've brought collegiates to a college campus here at Winthrop University. The first time we've hosted over 750 competitors. The first time that we've brought teams from outside of North America. And also the first time that I've hosted a major championship. An event of this magnitude simply doesn't happen without the help of all of our amazing partners. Our founding partner in Innova Discs, as well as the city of Rock Hill and Winthrop University. Best of luck to all of our competitors. We hope you have an amazing experience. And to all of you watching, enjoy the coverage.
All right, Chad Sullivan, who we've had the pleasure of working with over the years at the Myrtle Beach Open, putting on a tremendous show here. We're going to start things off here on this final nine with hole 1, this par 3, 211 feet, straight gap shot here. You can also take the over-the-top line. We've seen some spike hyzer coming in over these trees here.
Yeah, that spike hyzer takes a lot of power for just a 200-foot hole. A lot of stuff to get around and a lot of height to cover. Ideally, this is just a straight putter shot, looking to get in the circle.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your lead card, the 336 tee time.
I can only imagine what the nerves are here. It's the collegiate championships. It's a major. It's the final nine. You've got a little gallery here watching. There's a lot going on.
Oh man, as someone who got to play in this event for 3 years, not even at the Division I level, the nerves are real.
We have Atlanta Krueger leading us off here.
Nice looking subtle flex shot, parked. Great way to start a round.
No nerves showing there at all for Atlanta. She absolutely piped that gap.
Kelly here representing North Carolina. I did not know this was their first time bringing a women's team to this event.
Representing for the UNC, going with the flex forehand there with the heat.
Genesis Beck.
Genesis here looking like she is lining up the middle gap as well. Here's it with some speed.
Ooh, good tree kick. Probably could have gone close to 50 feet long without that.
Oh, she would have been C2 for sure if it wasn't for that tree coming in and saving the day. And Madeline Joyner here are 4th on this lead card.
Looked like she was trying to get the hyzer flip. Maybe trying to push the full hyzer, but just didn't get it quite right.
This one drifting a little bit on her to the left side, and she's going to have a little bit of a tricky look with that bush there on the left side. That's a thick one, as you can see, bottom left of your screen, her disc poking out there.
Yeah, maybe some of those initial nerves we were talking about.
We haven't talked about this yet, but it was windy. It was windy during the 18 before this, and it's been even windier as we started this final 9.
It was, and it wasn't just windy, it was swirling out there. Flags were flying all types of directions. No two holes were the same, really.
And Genesis taking advantage of the favorable tree kick, getting the birdie, making the strong putt there to start off her round.
Looking to keep some momentum going from that. Tough putt there.
Yeah, gets away. Madeline's going to have a similar distance coming back from the side here. With a tailwind this time, is able to dump it in for the double bogey.
The wind on putts is something a lot of players don't think about. You definitely would prefer to have a tailwind. Would rather drop than rise.
You're a tailwind guy?
Yeah.
I've heard people that are psychopaths that prefer a headwind on some putts, and I'm never comfortable putting into a headwind. So for those guys, I salute you. And also, there might be something wrong with you.
Jumping into hole 2, 254 feet. Want to come down just the straight gap. No real other play. Right into this landing area, we'll see a lot of shots collecting short, but it's not a whole lot of trouble. Kind of the same as hole 1, just a little bit farther. Maybe pull out the mid-range instead of the putter this time to push that extra 40 feet.
One of the greens here that will actually give you some skip. A lot of these fairways and greens are very sticky, but this one not necessarily the case. It gives you a little bit of bounce at the end of your flight here, as you see. Atlanta, is she going to pure this one too? Unbelievable.
Hits the koozie. Doesn't get much easier than that for the putt.
She's going to have an absolute drop-in for back-to-back birdies. Looking to start the day 2 down through 2, really sending a message.
Like maybe a buzz from Genesis?
Just needs to finish a little more. Gets it inside the circle there. She's going to have a similar range putt to what she had in hole 1.
Definitely a tester.
And that slices the gap somehow on the left side. Curls over there and gets cut down. That wind just didn't let it lift.
Looks like it might have gotten a little tree kiss to get back to the middle.
Yeah. And there's some of that wind we talked about, as you can see Madeline's clothing moving all over the place.
Oh, and great skip.
He gets the big flare there.
Here, the wind helps.
Mm-hmm. A smooth forehand approach there for Kelly White. Looks like she has both sides of the game figured out. We've seen forehands and backhands from her so far. That time, the crosswind there, as you can see, she exposed the right-hand side of her disc, and the wind just took it away. Meanwhile, Madeline, beautiful putt there.
Yeah, center of the chains. Love to see that. Especially after the double on 1.
Absolutely. You see Jeff Panis there in the background of Innova. Always a fixture at these events.
Honestly, I think without that wind, that might still fall in. It pushed it out right after it hit the cage.
Yeah, it looked like it hit a force field.
Yeah, tough bogey to take there.
That's going to drop her back after she had clawed to within 1 stroke, and Kelly will take her par, but Atlanta's going to gain another stroke.
Yeah, 2 down through 2 is a good start. Kelly just keeping it clean.
Innova is proud to be a founding partner of the College Disc Golf National Championship. In 2007, Pete May had a vision to create a national collegiate competition, and he brought 7 teams to Augusta, Georgia for the first ever championship. From day one, Innova has supported the collegiate's focus on amateur competition, team play, and the magic of school spirit and camaraderie.
Old Hall of Famer Pete May, always a treat when you see him at any of these events. We're moving on. This is hole 3, a par 3, 270 feet. Left to right is the shot that must be thrown to get you a look at the birdie here. With the wind here, this will play exponentially harder though. Coming out of that gap is going to be step 1. Really, I would see most of these ladies being very happy with the par here with the conditions that we have today.
Yeah, forehand is definitely the play off the tee. A little bit of a helping wind for the forehand, but only if you swing it out wide enough.
And a tighter gap than even we can really show here on camera. Especially with wind and the nerves, it just gets smaller and smaller. Atlanta, though, puts it out right in the middle. She's got a look if she wants to be brave and try to go 3 for 3, or she can easily lay up and get that par.
Trying to get a little more aggressive with the forehand here. Ending up in the same spot as Atlanta. That's a great spot to play for par. Laying up the putt. There's a hazard bunker behind the basket.
Yeah, literally right on top of it. Just as soon as you go past it on the right, it comes up on you. This, look, the wind is just playing games with this disc, but it is fighting through.
Onto the old golf green, just a few steps outside the circle.
That's a scary putt with that green, or that bunker right behind it. Oh, that's getting carried way left.
As you can see, the wind switched up on us. Earlier, that disc is getting knocked down, but it's swirling, so it carried it out left.
And this is not an easy approach. Still fighting a similar wind coming back. And it does a good job. Gets it inside the circle and away from the danger of the putt.
Definitely a safe approach shot.
That wraps around the backside of the pin there. Scary.
Cut that pretty close.
Atlanta, that is her suspect, so she'll be laying this up here.
Almost seems like a no-brainer after the first 2 holes.
Absolutely. You've got a 2-stroke lead. There's no need to complicate things here. Kelly will do the same.
Par train.
Genesis needs this for her par. A little short left there.
Tough putt to feel confident in.
Bit of an up and down start for her. We've seen her get a birdie, a couple of bogeys here. Madeline, after the tough start on hole 1, seems to be gathering and going in the right direction here. Atlanta, the first time she's tasted a par this round.
I almost felt the disappointment with that par. Hole 4, par 3, is 277 feet. Couple gaps here off the tee, so you have options. You can go backhand hyzer down this right gap that our drone is taking, or you can take maybe a faster disc on a forehand or a backhand turnover down the left. Either way, you have this final tree coming in that you want to avoid to get inside the circle and hopefully cash that birdie putt.
This is our last hole of the front 9, quote-unquote, portion of this course before we switch over to the back half of this course for a couple of holes to finish it out. Atlanta pushing this right side, maybe a little more right than she would have liked.
Yeah, I just got it turned over a little bit. Couldn't quite tell if that was the wind playing with it or just maybe too much juice.
You see the banners in the back kind of moving from right to left and then a little bit of a tail. The banner on top of the basket, though, seems to be kind of still. It's a very confusing wind. That's looking like it's getting pushed right to left, so maybe those banners are giving you a more accurate representation of what the wind is actually doing out there.
Yeah, it looked like she was almost intentionally going for the left gap, but that wind kept the disc from flipping over for her.
Genesis going left side with a straighter disc. That looks like that same disc that she threw on hole 1.
Yeah, it seems to be working for her. Push right up to circle's edge, it looked like. Simple little approach here. That's how you draw it up.
Tapping the koozie. Kelly here with a little bit of a low ceiling, so she's going to go ahead and lay that up, and maybe not quite as close as she would have liked.
Yeah, just a hair of a tester. Definitely giving that a bid. Just coming up with short. Great putt from circle's edge for the birdie there.
Fantastic.
It looked confident.
Good drive, good putt. Playing hole 4 very well there. Bringing her back to 2 under, keeping her in striking distance.
Kelly cleaning up a tricky little par putt. She's officially on the par train.
I was just going to say, she is just, she's riding that par train.
Something tells me Atlanta doesn't like tap-ins.
When you start off 2 for 2, and you've got a combined total distance of putts of about 6 feet between the two of them, I'd be a little upset too.
Yeah.
Here we are on the back half of the course, hole 13, a par 4, 444 feet. This very tight gap is the first step. You need to get out of there and get out into this open field. The hole then slightly moves from left to right with some guardian gaps here on the right-hand side. And these trees that love to catch any plastic that come near and hold on to them for dear life. You're going to swing your disc back around on over from right to left at the end of this hole there to give yourself a look for the birdie or for the par. Very, very bonus birdie in my opinion. Par feels great on this hole.
Yeah, just getting out the gap was a challenge enough. And our drone flew through the intended gap, but realistically, if you can get a forehand flare skip through the other side of that tree line, you don't need to take that.
Yeah, there's ways to cut the corners on this and cheat a little bit on the hole, but yeah, if you don't make it out this gap like that,
There's the teeth.
yeah, all that strategy goes out the window. We saw Genesis puring it on her drive. And the next two ladies not so fortunate. You almost feel claustrophobic. It's a close tee. Everything is on top of you.
Yeah, when we were walking this course beforehand, I almost wanted to take my tee shot from a knee.
It wouldn't surprise me to see some forehand rollers coming out of there. Just get out into the grass and just get into the open.
Yeah, and they finished the correct way as well. Good shots here just to get out in the open and try to make something in this hole.
Yeah, if you don't get out on your first shot, you really need to mitigate the damage as much as you can. Atlanta looking to cut early right and then have her disc swing back over on hyzer towards the pin.
This definitely opens up the approach on the next shot.
She fights through, gets on over into the open. There's no real out of bounds, so there's nothing kind of restricting you from being able to take either one of the sides.
Madeline here, headed for the intended gap. Have a tough little hyzer around to the basket. Kelly as well, punching through. Very nice there. Maybe a long putt?
Yeah, just outside the circle, looks like. I don't know if she's got a stepper game or a jumper game, but we might be finding out soon.
Ooh, just sneaks under.
I thought for sure the tree was going to grab that one.
Another long putt coming up.
Atlanta, you can see left to right wind. Although she played that perfectly. I thought that was going to get slammed over to the left, and it just held on.
It's a nice, pure shot. She was throwing that all day. Tricky little approach. You can see she pushed a little too far from the gap, so...
You can hear this wind, and Genesis took just about all over 30 seconds on this. Rightfully so, trying to gauge which way, and the wind switched directions about 3 different times in those 30 seconds before she actually laid that up.
Yeah, when we say it was swirling, it was swirling.
Yeah. Good putt there for the bogey for Madeline, limiting the damage after not getting out on her tee shot.
Yeah, that's a good cleanup. Could have gotten ugly after that.
Yeah.
After that tee shot for sure. Happy dance. I'd be dancing after that one too. Ooh, bag on putt.
Yeah, brave. So Genesis will remain 3 strokes back of our leader. And that's actually going to be cut down now to 2 strokes after that bogey for Atlanta, as she also with a difficult time getting clean off the tee.
First stroke she's dropped today.
Things are getting tight here.
Hole 14, par 3, 278 feet. Just a little tricky gap shot. 2 different options. You can go forehand or a flip up backhand. This green does get a little treacherous. It's sloping back the entire way, and if you stand up and catch edge, you're going. We saw some rollaways in our first round, upwards of 40, 50 feet down this hill.
Yeah, I saw about a handful myself, so I would imagine there were more than that. Genesis, this looks fantastic.
Looks like she got the turn out of the hand just right.
Oh, what a shot!
Wow.
In the bullseye, beautifully done. She's looking to clean up another birdie here.
Forehand, I think this is the more common play. Coming up a little short, probably not going to give that a run.
Let's see how Atlanta responds after dropping a stroke to her card mates for the first time.
Wants it to get left.
We'll get in. Oh my, she sails this. There's that power we were talking about that she has.
That was a good shot, but that slope kind of sloping away got away from her.
Clean forehand there for Madeline.
Oh, no ground play.
Yeah, just got soaked up there. And a scary approach here, especially with wind.
Yeah, it looks like a tailwind taking you down the hill too. Wow, it just grabbed right there.
It did. Out of her hand, I thought she was going to be 30 deep.
She certainly seemed relieved.
Kelly getting a little roll, but it checks up. It's to be about pin high.
No, I know she was getting nervous for a second.
Yeah.
Checking the wind.
Atlanta looking to give this a run?
Coming up the hill. Don't see why not.
Yeah. A little bit of left to right tail. About 50 feet. Oh my gosh, what a bid.
Just dropped right at the end.
That can be a little scary though, because you are going uphill, but if you hit metal and you get edge, you're looking at the same putt again.
Yeah, something like that. It's a situation you'd almost rather airball and stay close.
And Genesis with the beautiful birdie on hole 14. That's going to bring her 3 down. And she's going to close this gap to 1 stroke.
Yeah, that was a great shot. Looks like she's on a mission now.
Madeline with the par clean up there. And Atlanta, again, looking disappointed with par. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a par. Yeah, that's a par. Keeping her at 4 down. Moving on to hole 15. This one, 121 feet. But how do you get there? Difficult par 3, right-hand side as the drone is flying here. is really the only option. There's a mandatory that forces you to either go right up the gut into that tree line that you see there on the left, or punch it right-hand side. You'll see backhands, you'll see rollers, you'll see maybe thumbers or tomahawks, all kinds of different creative shots, and a creative green as this one is sunken into the ground. Shades of the old Hippodrome course in Augusta.
Yeah, you can see that Mando sign pointing you left, and this backhand is definitely just a play for par. If you want to try to get the birdie, you have to take that real tight gap with a forehand roller.
Yeah.
It was so tight we couldn't even get in there to show y'all.
Yeah, the drone couldn't fit through, and it would have just crashed. There's too many limbs in the way.
This is about as good as the backhand skip can get. You just can't push it far enough or far enough left to get the real good flare.
No, it feels like if you're going backhand here and you're still trying to quote-unquote to it, your second shot is either going to be a screaming forehand or backhand or even a roller to try to ramp it in there.
Yeah, and this green is really protected as you can hardly see the basket, but from this right side of the fairway, there's low-hanging branches that are covering off the basket. As
Like
you can
that.
see, she got caught up in. Yep.
Ooh, that one just on the back side there. Had a chance to maybe roll on in.
Looked like maybe a little run.
Mm-hmm. Atlanta a little bit more pinched than you would like, and that is not what she wanted there.
Yeah, I think that got knocked down by a little right-to-left cross there. Make for a tough par save.
I don't know if we've seen her throw a forehand. I can't recall us seeing her throw a forehand, but that seemed like it screamed for a little pitch forehand shot there, and she just is going to now be playing for a bogey.
Yeah, just nowhere to get through those limbs to the basket. You almost want to put your disc upside down and just slide it up there. Good putt there.
Yeah, cleaning up the par. Genesis will get the par as well.
You don't realize how tricky this putt is on this basket until you get up to it. You're not typically putting down to the ground.
It's one you don't practice, and when you see it, you're like, oh, I could just, oh wait, how do I, oh, do I do this? Do I get on a knee? Do I?
Definitely awkward.
Into the hole it goes, and we are looking at a three-way tie with 2 holes left to play.
It's getting tense, that's for sure. Hole 17, par 5, 676 feet. You just want a bomb on this one. Wide open, no out of bounds to speak of, and nothing but green grass in your way to the basket. Power players can get there in 2, maybe pick up the eagle with a long putt. Don't think we're going to see that on this card. Look to just see some good safe shots in the middle. Do the same thing again with the same disc. Take an approach, make your putt.
Yeah, coming down the stretch especially, this is a birdie you have to get.
Oh, absolutely.
I like to turn out of the hand, but it needs to fight out. And does so just in time. Might have a little bit of a tricky angle on her second shot, but it's wide open enough where you can almost do just about anything and still get in position for an upshot.
Yeah, about the only tricky thing I can think about this fairway is that when you get more towards the left or right side is you're on a slope more so than in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe mess with your footing on a run up.
A lot of fire at hills too, something to be aware of. You can easily end up stepping into one or having to take relief. Atlanta birdied this during the 18-hole round ahead of this final 9. And she's going to be in a similar spot to where she was during that round.
A little short here, but a decent second shot to keep the distance going.
Yeah, covered some ground there, made up for the short tee shot.
Yep, no damage really done there with the short shot. Yeah, you saw her feet dragging, get caught up there. Wow.
That
knocked down.
Just hammered to the ground. Meanwhile, Kelly getting a nice push forward, putting herself just short of the upslope.
Yeah, that's a good position to be in for your third shot. Just a little 150-foot approach to the basket.
and you're on flat ground, which makes
yeah.
a big difference here. Oh, that's turning hard right. Okay.
In a similar spot, still decent for the approach.
Nice approach there for Madeline, getting up onto the flats.
Oh yeah.
To be just about circle's edge. And Genesis, after her shot got smacked down, looking to get up and give herself a look for the birdie still, and she's done that.
Nice shot. Maybe came out just a hair early.
Kelly's going to have herself a similar putt as well as Genesis, and we're going to have ourselves a putt off here. Atlanta inside the circle as well, so all three players in this tie with a look for the birdie. Madeline had that tree branch right in her way and is right in line with her swing. Atlanta pushes it right side.
Good bid. I think that's on the approach shot though.
Absolutely. Genesis gets the kick right, gets a small roll, but stays close enough, but that is going to be a par at best. And that leaves Kelly White with the opportunity to take the outright lead with one hole left.
And this would be her first birdie of the round.
That's incredible. She's been on a par streak in every hole. I didn't even think of that.
Something to be said for playing safe. Knocks down the birdie there, though.
In the biggest moment possible, she's taken a one-stroke lead and is now one hole away from claiming a major championship.
Genesis cleans up after getting that roll away to sit down.
This Division I singles championship holds a lot of prestige here in college disc golf, and Atlanta.
Look at maybe just a lapse in concentration on the tap in there.
Got away from her. That's going to cost her now. And that's a bogey. Really more of an uphill battle now. Welcome back. It all comes down to this. Hole 18, par 3, 261 feet, uphill off the tee here. A tight gap on your right-hand side. Also, left-hand side, a viable option. You'll see flex forehands, backhands, straight shots. These two trees in the middle here kind of make you decide which way you're going to go. You need to beat these last guys here to give yourself an honest and legitimate look for the birdie here to close this thing out. Very few birdies seen on this hole throughout the day here. Tough one to close out on. And with a one-stroke lead, we're going to see what strategies come into play here for these ladies.
Yeah, those two massive trees in the middle really came into play throughout the day.
This is a similar line to what Kelly took during the 18-hole round ahead of this, and she's going to have a similar putt to what she closed out with as well.
Yeah, it just seemed like a safe forehand play. It really doesn't seem like she was attacking that much.
And that clips one of those big trees on the right-hand side. She's kind of playing chess here. She's got the one-stroke lead. She knows if somebody's going to beat her or tie her, they have to birdie. It's not an easy hole to birdie. She's playing to her strength there. She knows that shot well. She figures, I get out to the right, I leave myself a clean putt. If I have to run it, I can run it, or I can lay it up and put the pressure on the other ladies.
Yep, it's definitely right. Just simplify your game, and that's exactly what she did there. Atlanta's got to put this close to put some pressure on.
Squeaking through the right side. And gets the finish, puts her inside of the circle, about 20 feet left for the birdie.
Great shot.
Nice.
Great recovery there for Madeline.
It's like it started fading at just the right time. So we can get this approach shot close here.
Nicely done. That will be for par. A little bit of a mix-up on who was going there, and Kelly just went ahead and laid it up. So she is conceding the par here.
Yeah, smart choice. No need to risk a run at all.
Yeah. All she needs to do is just make that putt.
Atlanta has to make this to push a playoff. Nope.
Now she can put the pressure on her,
That's right,
because that would
that's
bring
right.
her to 3, and then that would force Kelly to absolutely have to make her next putt. Same with Genesis.
Kelly's putt is still a little bit of a tester. You can see back behind the basket, she's right behind that brush.
And this wind, it just lifts last second for Atlanta.
Oh, and then dies down soon. It's
Yeah.
almost like if she'd taken her whole 30 seconds.
Genesis gets the par. That's big. That's going to force Kelly to execute this putt here to lock this thing down. And this wind is unrelenting.
Knocked it in.
Doesn't matter. In a windstorm. Look at this. This is insane how these trees are whipping around. Knocks it home for the win. Again, congratulations.
What a moment for her and for the school.
Yeah, you said the first time that they've brought a women's team to this event.
That's right. We've got real established teams here like Liberty, Clemson, NC State, and Atlanta's team here. Been bringing teams for years and years now.
Yeah, Emporia State. We've seen Texas A&M out here. There's big collegiate names.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Collegiate National Disc Golf Champion in the singles women's D1 from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Kelly White. Yeah, Kelly! Do you want to say a few words? How do you feel right now? I mean, this wind
I
has
feel
been
amazing. Yeah, it was tough out there with the wind, but I feel like I was able to just kind of go for the pars when I could, try to get the birdies, and I don't know. I feel like I was able to push through with the wind and felt good after a good first round too. So yeah.
Yeah, there was at one point a three-way tie coming in.
Yes.
I don't know whether you were looking at the scores or not.
I saw that. It was
Yeah.
for hole 17. Yeah. This
It
is super exciting. First year UNC has a women's team, so exciting to get here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
Great
you.
representation.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you
You're a
so much.
champion.
Yay. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kelly White and UNC Chapel Hill. There you see the final scores.
Yeah, that's right. Not just a national champion, but a PDGA major winner as well. She said she got the pars when she could, and tried to get the birdies. Only needed one today.
Yeah, that's
Took it
crazy.
down.
Stuck to the game plan, and it worked out beautifully. Big thanks to everybody for watching along here on the PDGA's YouTube channel. We'll see you along for the rest of this week from the College National Championships.